viewer and pundit. But let's have a chat about this tax fight that is happening as we speak. Now, as you know, front page of the Fairfax Press, and they took a couple of days to get there to work out, well, small to medium business, that could include people who sell underwear and, you know, swimsuits. And, wow, let's put Aussie Bum on the front page, and that's the story. But then there's this stuff today that Labor is pushing through Question Time, that the whole thing's been delayed by the government because they've done a deal with One Nation. Senator Leyonhjelm, is a deal done with One Nation, or do you believe Senator Hanson when she says they're not talking? They're not even talking. So what do you think is actually happening here on company tax cut as the man who is backing it in?
OK. As far as I know, they're not talking. Certainly, Pauline's not in any mood to change her mind. She's a bit sensitive to that argument, although we joke about it a little bit. I know more than I am prepared to talk about. But I don't think there is any deal, even a smidgen of a deal, quite frankly, between the government and Pauline at this stage. I thought they were going to bring it to a vote this week. That was Matthias's intention, I think early in the week or last week. Something has changed his mind. I think he probably regards it as a deferral rather than a losing it. But, you know, I've talked to Pauline independently. I talked to her in the chamber. She sits next to me, as a matter of fact, in the chamber. So we chat quite a lot. And as far as I can tell, there's absolutely no deal.
And that's my thing, Claire, where, look, I know what Labor's trying to do. They're trying to pretend, hey, Bill Shorten didn't say what he said this week about company tax, which in the seat of Longman, of course, isn't working out. They know that in the seat of Longman, One Nation's gone from 9 to 14.5%. They know that most of those preferences go back to the Libs. So let's demonise One Nation. Let's pretend there's something evil and nefarious going on. When Pauline Hanson yesterday said, and I know it to be the case behind the scenes as well as Senator Leyonhjelm says, she's not talking at all. Does it mean she'll talk in a week? I don't know. In 2 weeks? I don't know. But yesterday she said, I'm not answering the phone, I won't be sitting down to any meetings. So why do you think Labor went in, as they did today, and tactically tried to pretend that that was the reason, which, by the way, got repeated by TV News tonight, including Channel 9, who had their newsreader repeating that lie earlier tonight?
Because it's worth asking the question. It's worth asking the question, just what's gone down here. Here's what hasn't been reported yet, and here's what I think is going on. Look, there is no doubt that the Liberal Party are having big second thoughts about this policy. The rank and file members hate it, and there is a groundswell of people just going, how tenable is it for us to head into the election with this dishing out of a huge tax cut to the big end of town? It's a totally unsustainable election policy, and it's a bad policy, and people don't like it, right? And
that's what you guys are saying to each other at Hawker Britain, is it? I mean, that's just crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
See how defensive they get? This is how defensive that they get, because they're priming the Australian people up here for them to dump this policy. And that's dangerous for them, because this is a marquee policy, right? This is the centrepiece of their economic narrative from a Prime Minister who said the #1 reason for him unseating a popularly elected Prime Minister was that there was no economic narrative. Look, their own rank and file hate it because it affects their franking credits, and it's a bad policy. And we are on the eve here now.
Labor and franking credits is a good thing.
Labor's getting rid of the franking credits. Listen, Claire, if you're so weed, if you're so weed, you're not going to get a good harvest.
You're reading the talking points, but you don't understand them, Claire.
You are talking about sowing weeds. This argument that's been going on in the Parliament today is very simply this. Bill Shorten had his birthday cake moment when he said he would repeal the tax cuts given to individuals. He can lose the unlosable election just like John Hewson did, and he knows it, and the rest of the party knows it. Hence they go on this wild goose chase that they've been in today, and it's just a load of nonsense. The bottom line is,
I agree, Bronwyn. You're absolutely on top of it. You're absolutely on top of it. You're right. It was a disastrous. That was a disastrous announcement by Bill Shorten.
But okay, but Senator Hume, are you defensive because you want to dump them? Else, according to Claire?
No, not at all. No. It's been deferred. It's been delayed because we didn't have the support that we needed to get it passed. But Claire is right on one thing. Yes, it is a marquee policy. We took this to the election and we were elected. and now we want to pass the legislation, and we'll keep trying to. You know, the art of politics is the art of persuasion. We'll keep trying to persuade the public and persuade our colleagues until we believe that the legislation is ready to go.
Don't get
now,
me
if it
wrong. I
doesn't
hope you
pass,
continue to do
we'll probably
that.
take it to the next election. We'll take it to the next election.
Do that.
But really, what
that
happened
works.
this week was a matter of deflection. It was Bill Shorten who made an extraordinary gaffe. I mean, the place was a buzz last night. The place was a buzz last night with Labor members and ministers wandering up and down the aisles of the back benches. Everyone was wondering whether there was, you know, whether the hit was on. It was so bad. So, you know, this is just a, you know, look over there, nothing to see here. There's something else going on. There's no deal. That's ridiculous.
Claire, then David, and we're done.
The reason why the Libs love to talk about Bill Shorten, and we just saw it just there, is because they have nothing else to talk about. They have no
because
policies
he's so bad. He's the best
general
gift the
public
Liberal Party's ever been given.
It is extraordinary the degree to which they want to talk about Bill Shorten. It's like nothing anyone has ever seen before, and the reason is because they have no policy. Now, look,
they want him to stay there.
It's not
Gillard
me
Rudd
putting it
had nothing
out.
to
I
say
don't know
about
what
Tony
planet
Abbott.
you're coming from. The Hawker Britain office must be really tiny. I mean, that's the smallest echo chamber ever.
Senator Leyonhjelm, last word on this about where it goes, and I know you say you intrigued me with the I know more, but I won't say.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, I'm on the crossbench, so we talk to the government on our vote all the time. But let me tell you, Matthias Cormann has been driving this, both the personal income tax and the company tax. That guy is committed like you wouldn't believe. He is. I mean, George Brandis described him as the machine when in his valedictory speech. It's pretty accurate, in my opinion. He is so committed to getting it through. And I'll tell you what, he's doing it irrespective of what votes it might cost them, because he seriously believes in what's best for Australia. I happen to agree with him profoundly that it's in the best interest. In fact, I abuse him every now and again and tell him his cuts aren't deep enough and soon enough. And well, I won't tell you what he says. But
Well, points for Claire for throwing a cat amongst the
make love in
pigeons.
another place.
No, he doesn't, no.
All right, quick break. Back with more. Plenty to talk about, including should women be able to have access to things like pepper spray and tasers to defend themselves against those who may attack. More in a second.